Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to give you a haul because I've bought a lot of books, I've received some books, and I want to tell you all about them so you can hear about how epic they are. So for starters, I want to actually do a giveaway win, and it's actually not a book, but this blogger, I don't know how many of you bookish people also are into following fashion and beauty blogs. There's this really cool one called Steffi's Style. I'll leave a link to her blog below. She's a great friend of mine, and I won her giveaway on Twitter. So I just want to tell you what I won. I won a Lancome makeup set, and in it has eyeliner, mascara and makeup remover. Now, I'm not actually someone who does a lot of makeup, you might be able to see, but now that I've won this, I won't waste it and I will try it out and put it to use. So I'm very excited to be using this eye makeup, finally got some of my own, and I just wanted to let you know about her blog because it's really epic. So now I want to show you some of the books that I received for review this month. Yeah, let's do that. First book that I received for review this month is Ugly by Alexander Baldazar. Now, Ugly is about this tribal caveman who lives in these caves, and that's his whole lifestyle. He's been doing that his whole life. But now these businessmen want to come to where he lives, get rid of all his caves and build a butterfly conservatory. He, Muzdak Ugly IV, is going to go and study law in a school, so instead of being able to throw boulders, he's going to be able to throw his words and fight for the place that he calls home. His trip takes him to America, to Africa, to Cambridge, all around, and he's really just learning how to fight and keep what is true to him and his home. And it's kind of sad because this is what's really happening in the world. Loads of tribes are being, impeded upon by us who want them to stop their lifestyle so we can urbanize their world. So I'm actually very much looking forward to reading this one. The next book that I was sent for review was The Silent Songbird by Melanie Dickerson. Now, this one is about this girl who is trying to flee from a political marriage, so she runs away to this castle where she pretends to be tame, like she can't speak, in order to, get by, not, tell who she is, things like that, keep on the down low. But then what happens is there's this whole load of secrets going on, whole load of intrigue and things that will threaten the English monarchy as a whole, and it's her voice that might be able to save everyone. So, and I'm really looking forward to reading it because, books set in castles, we just go well together. Next book I received for review is Action Men with Silly Putty by Susan Joy Clark. Susan Joy Clark is an author I know pretty well because she reads my blog sometimes and watches my channel sometimes. So we've got kind of a friendship thing going on, and when she was like, "Hey, Olivia, will you review my book?" I was like, of course I will. So this is me hauling in her book that I'll be reviewing later. She sent it with some lollipops and some nice things. Regardless, all you need to know is the lollipops are gone, but let's talk about the book now. So, the book is about this guy, I believe he's called Andy Weston, who was not expecting an adventure or any action. But there's this whole mystery case going on. He ends up with two criminals chasing him, and his skills with toys are what will really help him, and his engineering skills, and it just becomes all whimsical and mystery-like and pretty funny as well. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Okay, for the last part of my haul, I am going to be talking about books that I bought myself this month. I bought 7 books this month, and it only cost me around about 23 euros, maybe a little bit less, but around the 20 part. And that is because in the Netherlands, in my city, there was the Boekenfestijn. If you don't know what the Boekenfestijn is and you're in the Netherlands, I need to tell you about it. It's a market that goes from place to city to city to city to city in the Netherlands, and they sell English and Dutch books at a very, very cheap price. I bought some hardcovers and some collections of classic novels, and none of them cost me more than 6 euros. I also bought some paperbacks which ranged between 3 to 2 euros. So if you want a good deal, a really good bargain, and you want to be able to buy lots of books with under 20 euros, you gotta get to Boekenfestijn and find out when it hits your city next. So, with no further ado, let's bring on the books. The first book that I snatched up as soon as I saw it was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Now, I've heard a lot about this book, but I still haven't read anything by Rainbow Rowell. I have Fangirl by her, and I know that this one is, in the book Fangirl, the main character writes fan fiction, and this novel is the fan fiction that she's written. Lots of people have told me it's very Harry Potter-esque. I've read the first 3 Harry Potter books. They weren't really my cup of tea, but I'm curious to see how this will compare. And of course I will be reading Fangirl before I read this one, but you know, for the sake of this book haul, look at it! The next book I got was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now I've heard a lot about this book on blogs, which is why as soon as I saw it I was like, oh, I recognise this book, and because I recognised it I wanted to read the blurb and hear a bit more about it. And though I have read reviews on it, I don't think I've ever read a negative review, just good reviews, but I don't know that much about it. Yeah. So all I know really is that it's about these 2 guys in ancient Greece, and I forgot the name of the main character, but he falls in love with Achilles, and them 2 are a thing until Achilles has to run off and save the world, and he's kind of left behind, you know, waiting on Achilles. So this guy, torn between love for his friend and fear because everything's going on with like Helen of Sparta being captured and all that. Sounds very interesting, like a romance is going to take the forefront, but like there'll be a lot of action happening as well. The next book I got was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. It's December, as I'm filming this, it's the 1st of December, I don't know when I'm going to get it up on my channel, but I really want to read this one for Christmas because I have read like graphic novel versions of this, and my family watch Muppets Christmas Carol almost every year actually. And you know the story, everybody knows the story inside and out about Scrooge, and he gets visited by these ghosts, and they kind of like try and change his horrible I hate Christmas mindset into one like I love Christmas, and you look back on his life as to why he's like that, so on, Charles Dickens. And I've never read a Charles Dickens novel as well, so because this one is so short, well not really short because the writing is small even though it looks like a small book, but because it's relatively short in comparison to other Charles Dickens novels, I think this would be a great one to break me in, and as it's coming to Christmas, what a better time to read it than this month. I really hope I can fit it in. Next book, I forgot, like, let's just pause the whole Book of Festine thing. Pause it. And go back to books that I received or won. This is actually one I won in a giveaway from Newton Mifflin Court Books for Young Readers on Instagram. I'll leave a link to their Instagram below. I love their Instagram, I love the company, and this is, I saw the cover of this one and I just really wanted to win it because look at the cover, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And it's about ancient Greek mythology again, and if you know me, you know I love Greek mythology, so that really struck a chord with me. This one is called Bull, and it's by George Eliot. This is the story of the Minotaur. Hey, you get the bull thing now. So it's the story of the Minotaur, but the best thing about it is that it's written in verse. I love books in verse. I think in October I read 3 books in verse, which are the first 3 that I've read, and since then I've just been wanting to read more and more and more and more and more. So now I get to read more. Okay, let's rewind. We're going back to the Book of Festine thing and the books that I bought this month. Anyway, so the other book I got was another Charles Dickens novel, which was Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Now, I wanted to get this one because I have a sister who really liked it. I must admit, I 50% bought this book because she went on and on about it, and I've been trying to, well not trying to get into Charles Dickens, but it's about time I get around to Charles Dickens, but also 50% because this book is gorgeous. Like, it's a hardcover, when you remove the dust jacket, it's beautiful, and as well as that, it has deckled pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and be honest and say 50% of the reason why I bought this is because the book edition itself is beautiful. The second last book that I bought was selected works of Virginia Woolf, and they're by Virginia Woolf, of course. So in this collection, I'm just going to read out what you get. You get A Room of One's Own, To the Lighthouse, Between the Acts, 3 Guineas, Miss Dalloway, Jacob's Room, The Years, Orlando, and The Waves. Now, when I saw that it was her selected works, I was a little bit worried because there's one particular work of hers that I really wanted to read, and that is The Waves. And also the second one I kind of really want to read as well, called To the Lighthouse. And when I saw they were both in this collection, I didn't really care about the others, I just had to get it, especially as it was about €5 for this whole thing. It was like a lot of her novels, so yeah. And the last book I have to show you today is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this was one that I've seen all over the blog sphere, and it's been getting mostly good reviews from what I've read. I read 1 or 2 bad ones, but I wanted to try it myself. I went to the book Festijn and I saw a hardcover copy of this one. The sequel was nowhere in sight, so I couldn't get the sequel at the same time. But this hardcover young adult book, I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get it, and I did. And the Bone Season is about kind of like a dream walker, because the main character is a criminal. She lives in this criminal world where she gets paid to go into people's minds, into their dreams, and get some information from their dreams and then tell it to whoever hires her, until she gets assigned to this mysterious man and things start to happen. That's all I really know about this book, and those are all the books that I bought this month and all that I have to show you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, because you know there's more where that came from, and if you want to see where that more is going to be, you should hit that subscribe button so you can get updates whenever I post a new video. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Please tell me what books you've bought recently, what books you've acquired recently, or if you haven't been buying books because you're on a book buying ban and you're a better person than me, then you should let me know in the comment section below what book you want to buy next. Or, you know, all three if you're up for it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back another week with another video, and until then, it's goodbye. Toodles! The next book that I was sent for review is called The Silent Burger. I'm fasting today for religious purposes, and I think that just shows how hungry I am. Silent Burger. Okay, let's do that again. And that is Great Expectations. Jacob's womb. You know, womb. I don't know. Anyway. And the last book I have to show you today is The Bone Season by Sham Blam Blam Blam.